Okay, we're going to get started in a second. Just a quick sound check. See if the volume's okay. Okay, we're going to get started. As usual, we'll start with the Ba Cheng Gong warm-up exercise for all of the tendons and the joints. So please find position with your feet about hip width apart. And we'll start by looking to the right. Come on the balls of the feet. And look forward. Looking left, come up. Forward. Looking right. Center. And left. Back to center. Keeping the heels down, look up. Center. Down. Center. Up. Center. Down. Back to center, lean the head to the right. And then to the left. And then again to the right. This time chin up a bit. Down a bit. And then over to the left. Chin up a bit. And down a bit. Back to the center, half circles with the head. And center. You say your thumbs in a light fist, the elbows bent. Let's roll the shoulders back. And then forward. Then fingertips to the collarbone, roll the elbows forward. And then back. And releasing the arms. Shift to your left foot, lift the right. Shift to your right foot, lift the left. Back to the center. Big arm circles forward. And then back. And thumbs in a light fist, elbows out. Circle in at the elbows. Other way. And interlacing the fingers, wrist rolls. Other way. And some waves. Reverse. And rubbing the palms. Hands to kidneys. Take the hips around. And the other way. And then back to center, shifting to your left foot. Right leg comes across and opens out 3 times. And then inwards. Other leg opening out. And then inwards. Place the toes together of the palms. Bend the knees. Rub the knees. Keep the knees together, take them around. Other way. And standing up, ankle rotations. Other way. Other foot. Other way. And then heels together, feet angled out. Lift the toes, relax the arms. Gently twist in this one. Back to center now, heels out. Feet parallel, bend the knees, drop the tailbone. Really ground yourself and rock gently forward and back. Back to center. Now lift one leg with both arms and then the other. Okay, and then shaking it out. Jump. One more time. And shake it out. Okay, today we're focusing on some poses that have us a little bit upside down. So some inversion poses. It's a little bit more of a challenging class, but there's variations that you can do if you find a pose is too challenging. So just do the best that you can. We're going to start in a puppy pose today, which is a mild inversion already. Puppy pose, you start with the knees below the hips. You walk the hands forward, keeping the hips up in the air, bring your forehead to the floor. Try to keep your elbows up. Okay, then please walk the hands in to all fours. Let's take a few cat-cow tilts. Inhaling, belly down, look forward. Exhale, belly up, head down. Continue with your own natural breath flow. And come into neutral. Hands a bit wider. Let's take the hips around. And another way. And finishing forward in kneeling push-up position. Shoulder blades down the back. Make sure your head isn't dropping down. Keep it in, chin tucked. Core engaged. You can hold here, or you can hold in chaturanga. And then all the way to the floor. Point the toes. Please reach your left arm out to the side. And then peel up the right side of the body. Relax the head if it's comfortable. Coming back to flat, sliding the left hand in, right hand out. Please peel up the left side of the body. Then coming back to center. Hands beside the chest, elbows in. Neck long, curl up into a light cobra. See if you can hover your hands off the floor in cobra. And then slowly glide the hands forward. Turn the hands palm in and lift the feet. And slowly releasing, tuck the chin, rest the forehead. We're going to do tiger, lying tiger, so cross lifts. Left arm, right leg, lifting up. Slowly releasing. Other side. Slowly releasing. Bring the hands in once again for cobra. Coming into a light cobra or into upward facing dog. And then back into bent knee, downward facing dog. And walking the dog to slowly start to straighten the leg. You don't have to get the leg straight though. Then inhale, come forward into full plank. Holding here or come into side plank. Back to center, come to downward dog before we do the other side. Lifting the heels up. Heels down. Heels up. Heels down. Then coming forward to plank. Holding plank again or coming into the other side, side plank. And back to center, back to downward dog. And then from here, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward. Step, walk, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale to flat back extension. And then bending the knees, ragdoll forward, lying forward over the thighs. Release the head and neck. And then fingertips down. Send your left leg way back. Starting a low lunge with the back knee lifted. Maybe coming up. Maybe even reaching up. And floating down. Lower the back knee, shift your right foot a bit wide, hand on the inside. So you can come a little bit lower, maybe into lizard pose. And pressing up, off the back leg forward. Inhale to flat back extension. Exhale to fold, bend the knees. You send the right leg back. And coming up, or all the way up. And floating down. Shift your left foot a little to the left, bring your arm on the inside. Hands forward if you can, bend the elbows if you can. And then hopping the back leg forward. Inhale to flat back extension. Exhale to fold. Firm the legs. Inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale. Namaste. Okay, shake it out. Get a little sip of water if you like. If you're just joining us, we're doing a light inversion practice where we'll be somewhat upside down in a lot of the poses. Has a lot of physiological benefits, including it's great for toning the heart because the heart has to work in a different way to pump the blood against gravity. Just a whole list of great benefits, including uplifting your complexion. Now, when you're ready, find a wide stance, please. First position is just like so. Pressing the outside edges of the feet. Pressing the thigh bones back as you tuck the tailbone forward. And turning your left toes in, right toes out. Reach up, but plug the shoulder blades down, and then reach wide as you bend into the right leg for warrior two. Now from here, we come down, this time it's all the way to the floor and a bit forward. This is a down dog warrior to the right. So the legs stay the same, we're finding a down dog to the right. Walk the hands in, coming back up to center. Turn the right toes in, left toes out. Reaching up, plug the shoulders down, arms out as you bend into the left leg. If you want to adjust, take your back foot out to go a little deeper. And then bring the hands down to the left and into downward dog while the legs stay in warrior position. Walking the hands in, pressing up to the center, turn your left toes in and interlace behind your back. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, and then toning the legs, leading with the heart, fold forward, keeping the legs straight. You might round a bit forward, you might draw your arms over top. Palms together to work a little harder. And inhale, slowly drawing yourself back up. Interlace in the front, turn the heels in, reverse interlace as you turn your palms forward. And then taking the arms up as you take the knees wide. God's pose. Now imagine that you're holding a chain with a really long chain with a ball on the end of it. Inhale as if you're swinging it around. Exhale forward. Inhale up and back. Exhale forward. And then going the other way. to center. And press the legs up. Hands just above the knees, resting the weight of the upper body into the legs, maybe shifting a little side to side. If your knees are moving in the direction of your toes, your knees should be comfortable. You want to take a shoulder forward. Just be careful you don't lose the good form in your legs. Knees should always be comfortable. Good. And then hands down, sitting a little low, shifting a bit side to side if you like in Skandasana. Back to center, walk the hands forward, turn the heels out, sit back into wide-legged downward dog. And walking the hands in, come into flat back. See how far you can hinge forward, keeping flat back. Some of you might stay here, some of you might bend down onto your elbows, some of you might be able to bring your crown on the floor, but without rounding the spine. And pressing up, bringing the feet in if you have to, tuck the tailbone and draw yourself up to a standing position. Bringing the feet in. Okay, we're going to go through Sun Salutation A, but this time when we fold forward, hold the forward fold in Uttanasana. So first finding mountain pose. And then from here, inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale, dive forward. This is the one we're going to hold. Forward folding Uttanasana. So you can grab your ankles or your big toes. Or palms up under your feet. Try not to lean into your heels. Keep your weight forward. The toes relaxed. And then bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, or jump back. You could go right to downward dog or through vinyasa. Now once you're in downward dog, we're going to do scissor leg position. So feet a little closer together, keeping the hips flat. Take one leg back and up. Keep pressing the thigh bones into the hamstrings. Okay, other side. Other leg up, scissors, hips flat, legs straight as they can be. Your standing knee could be bent if that helps you to lengthen. And then down. Then bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. From the legs, inhale, sweep wide. And up. Exhale. Namaste. Okay, if you need a little sip of water, go for it. Next is a balance pose. This is a tree pose with a possible forward fold. To do the forward fold, though, you have to be able to get your leg into half lotus comfortably. Then you could possibly forward fold. You have to be very confident in your balance as well. Otherwise, regular tree pose is a good pose to work on. Anyway, shift to the left foot, right leg comes up. Either holding regular tree pose with a challenging arm position or coming into half lotus variation. From here, you could forward fold, maybe using blocks. Maybe you can grab your foot behind. That's the full textbook version. Inhale and slowly releasing from there. Let's try it on the other side. Either regular or half lotus. Upright or forward, bound or not. Inhale, coming up and slowly releasing from there. All right, coming into Sun Salutation B, starting at the top of the mat. Bend the knees, sit back nice and low, reach forward, arms forward. Exhale, straighten legs, fold over to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step walk, jump back. Lower either halfway or all the way down. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Feet a little closer together. Please take your right leg up and over. And swing that leg all the way forward between the hands. Turn the back heel up. Rising up into warrior one. And straightening your front leg, hands to your hips, leading with the heart, tilt forward. Coming upright. If you want to try a challenge, keep your hands on your hips as you come into airplane. To make it easier though, hands in airplane wing position. Stepping forward, coming up. And to go deeper, you could gradually tilt forward into standing splits, bringing the hands to the floor or hold in the airplane. And then stepping back, you can go right to downward dog or through a vinyasa like so. Once we're in the downward dog, bring your feet a little closer. This time the left leg's up and over, scorpion tail or wild dog. And swing that leg all the way forward. In the hands. Turn the back heel down. Inhale, rise up to warrior one. Straightening that front leg, hands to the hips, leading with the heart, tilt forward. Bring back upright, bend the front of the leg. To keep the challenge in pose, keep the hands on the hips or come into airplane. We're gonna hop, step, glide forward into airplane. Possibly continuing to tilt forward, come into standing splits. It's a tricky pose though, don't feel like you have to. And stepping back, leg back. You go right to downward dog or through vinyasa. And then bend the knees, coming down, knees together, feet wide. Sit back between your feet or keep weight in your hands. Some of you might be able to go back. Feel free to, if it's comfortable, to whatever degree you can. Okay, coming forward. Heels in so you can sit down onto your heels. We're going to do a down dog prep for headstand, not actually headstand, but it's the prep. If you ever want to do headstand, you need to have a really solid and good base. Headstand is considered the #1 yoga pose in some systems, so it is a pose to work up to, and it has a lot of benefits, my personal favorite. But in order to do it safely and well, before you even take it to the wall, you gotta have that solid base. So interlacing the fingers, you'll notice one baby finger's on the bottom, tuck that in beside that other baby finger. Elbows are gonna be shoulder width apart, just like so. Don't let the elbows slide out. And then coming into a downward dog inversion. You can have the head off the floor, or you can work with your head down on the floor. I'm working today with my head off. That's important. If you have your head down on the floor in that base, don't flatten your hands against your head. Keep some space in the palms. Okay, now bending the knees and coming down. Take the knees wide, find a wide-legged child's pose. Now, please continue to rest in child's pose if this is at all intimidating to you. You don't have to do this one, just skip it. Stay in child's pose. It's pretty easy after this. But for those of you who want an additional challenge, you could take some little hops to get some weight in the hands, as if you're going to do a handstand without going up. So you use one leg to swing, you just hop up a bit, and just practice taking a little bit of weight in the hands for just a second. Careful not to kick any lamps or anything. Other side, if you can. Again, feel free to skip this one. It can be a bit intimidating for some bodies, some dispositions. Okay, then we're going to take a right leg forward in pigeon pose as you're ready. And we do pigeon pose in upright position or in the bowing forward. Okay, let's take that on the other side. Left leg forward, king pigeon. Okay, then coming back through downward dog and into malasana. So, just quick story. I was just walking through a forest with someone, and they weren't able to step over a log because their knees couldn't bend past 90 degrees. So at some point, if you don't do poses where your knees are bending fully like this, you'll lose that flexibility, and it's hard to get back. But if you keep it by practicing poses like this, you'll keep that good full range of flexibility in the backs of the knees. So you don't trip over logs, and you can step as high as you want. Now let's find a comfortable seated position. Catch hold behind the hamstrings. Extend the arms, chest lifted, and then feet up. You're reaching forward. Maybe legs. And come down slow into Baddha Konasana. Cobbler's seat, flats the feet together, knees wide. So inversion practices are one of my personal favorites. Headstand was one of the only poses that Gandhi did. He really swore by that pose. It is a very powerful pose. It really turns your world upside down, and it affects your nervous system too. If you're able to relax when you're upside down on your head, you can relax in any situation, really. Now let's bring the feet forward. Catch hold of your ankles, sit up tall, tilting forward, and rounding if you can. And sitting up, grabbing your big toes, balancing on your 3 points. See if you can start to take the legs forward. Maybe wide. And forward. Stay up nice and tall. And reaching up if you can. See if you can tilt forward an inch and then lengthen 2 inches taller. Tilt 1, lengthen 2. Tilt 1, lengthen 2. And back up to center, bringing the feet in. Hands beside the hips, pressing into the floor, or hands in the lap if you can't press into the floor. And sitting down, right leg in, Janushirshasana A or Janushirshasana B. Sitting up tall, tilting forward so you can catch hold of your ankle, foot, or use a yoga strap. Back up to center. Releasing the right leg, left leg is in, Janu A or Janushirshasana B. So tall, tilting forward, you can hold your ankle, foot, or use a yoga strap. And sitting up, releasing the feet. We're going to lie back. Have a block handy if you have one. But before we need that, get hold of your ankles, feet hip width, bend the elbows, press the back of the elbows into the floor, and lift into a little bridge. Then slowly lowering down. You might lift up into a full wheel, or once again, come into a little bridge. See if you can lift your heels in either version. And then heels down, inner heels heavy. And then lowering down. Now from here, let's put a block underneath the hips and rest down into the support of the block. If you don't have a block, you have your hands under your hips or put a pillow under there. We're going to hold for a few breaths. And moving the block out of the way, slowly lowering the hips down, hug your knees in towards you. And then feet back down onto the floor. If you have a yoga strap, take both feet up into the strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, hold the backs of your legs as you press your feet up. Now keep the strap in your right foot, or keep hold of your right leg. Left leg comes down along the floor. Try to work if you can with straight legs. Neat thing you can do if you have an 8-foot strap. Just like that, you can cradle your head, so you don't have to hold it. But you have to have a very specific strap and with a nice strong buckle, and it has to be big enough and at the right size. Okay, from here, take it out to the right leg, right side, the right leg. And then across over to the other side, letting the right hip come up and do a twist. Back to center. Left foot up in the strap, right foot down along the floor. And if you don't have a strap, you can still do this just holding your hamstring. And then taking the leg out to the side. And then over to the other side in a gentle twist. You don't have to get the leg to the floor. And come back to center. And then final relaxation pose now. I recommend using elevated legs up the wall pose for your final resting position if possible. But you can just lie flat and relax if you like. You can try to find this pose at the wall. Final resting inversion. Or again, as I said, just lying flat in Shavasana, final resting pose. Okay. Take your time. Feel free to just stay where you are and continue relaxing. Next week's the final session of our of this term, so I hope to see you out next week. Thanks so much for coming, for joining us all of these times. Now I'm going to demonstrate my favorite inversion. If I can, I have to angle the camera into my kitchen in order to demonstrate this. It's I can't say I recommend trying it at home, but it's really kind of nifty thing. I thought I'd show you guys. If you're not interested, log on out, but let's see if I can get this positioned right here. Okay. Get this out of the way. Okay. It's a little thing I figured out you can do with certain countertops with cupboards as a great inversion that really lets your spine traction. Your feet kind of tuck underneath the cupboards, and then you can just lie forward completely effortlessly. It's extremely comfortable. You can also use some back strengthening curls from this position as well. Hopefully you can see me there. Anyway, I hang here for quite a bit, and it's just really delightful for the back. So anyway, that's a nifty little thing. I can't say I necessarily recommend it because it can be a bit dangerous, but if you know what you're doing, I recommend getting those foam pads you see on my counter there and giving it a try. No pressure though. Okay, just something fun to consider. Anyway, good seeing you guys, or good having you guys anyway. I'll see you next time. Bye.